This episode is sponsored by JDAQA Software Testing, your scalable solution for manual, automated, security, and performance testing. Check us out at jdaqa.com. And with that, let's get on with the show.
This is The First Customer, hosted by Jay Agner.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the First Customer Podcast. My name is Jay Agner. Today, I'm lucky enough to be joined again by Eric McHugh. He's a serial entrepreneur. He doesn't make cereal. He founds multiple companies. Today, he's here to talk about dating.io and an AI-powered anti-Tinder matchmaking app that launched a couple weeks ago. Did I do pretty well?
Jay, you crushed it. Yeah, I just couldn't stay away.
I had to have you back,
Yes.
Dude. So it's interesting because the Web3 thing, I think, is filled with people who do a lot of different things and try bunch of different things and like serial product starter guys. Why is that space kind of so rife for these, I'm not gonna say quick or prototypey type ideas, but just different ideas you can kind of bang out pretty quickly. You can get in front of somebody, you can prove out, like, why is that space seem to be so conducive to that sort of kind of fast development ecosystem?
Yeah, so I want to attack that from two angles. So first off, the Web3 crypto space, I think it attracts two type of people. The laziest type of people who don't want to do anything and they just kind of sit and wait for like a coin to pump and just dump. And I'm not a big fan of that group. But the other side is the builders. So crypto is a new thing and it attracted a bunch of money and a bunch of builders quickly. So the people who would likely build a bunch of technology naturally gravitated toward those spaces. And then people usually clumped up into groups, such as what I did. So the people who worked on ShopX with, I met a bunch of people there and kind of networked my way through. We were starting a brand new fund called Whole On Labs, which is a holistic fund designed to create companies that elevate the collective consciousness. And that's where we're going to really start cranking out products like you mentioned earlier. So it's going to be under Whole On Labs, so like trying a bunch of stuff. And
I
just
love
because,
that.
yeah.
Love that. Are you a vibe coder? Am I on a call with a vibe coder? Is that what we're doing today?
I'm not a vibe coder. I'm a
Okay.
vibe marketer.
You're a vibe marketer. You are a vibe. You got the vibe.
Well, technically, we're all we are vibrations. So
I mean, absolutely, we're all just pieces of stars floating around, right? That's all we are. Vibe marketing is brilliant because you kind of have to, right? Like that's what it is. It's the look and the feel. So talk to me about dating. You told me it was pronounced dating. I'm gonna take you for your word and not my brain who's trying to read it another way. Tell me about the product. Where did it come from? What's the anti-Tinder thing about? Like, what? Just give me the download on the platform. What is it?
sure, so happy to. So the funny thing is, I was on a podcast tour for ShopX a while back. That's actually how we met. I went on another crypto podcast called The Crypto Economy. It's run by this dude named Mark. After the podcast, like we did, we kind of kept in touch. And then this like AI dating thing started following me on Tinder. Or on Twitter. I'm like, well, X now. No, it's forever Twitter. Like, oh, what is this? It's like, oh, I'm thinking about building this AI powered matchmaking server. I'm like, that's funny. Dating apps suck. I'm down to help out. So that's how that came to the play. So dating, it's the first ever AI powered matchmaking service, and it solves three main problems that are presented by the dating apps. So in the dating apps, the top 5% of users get access to everyone on the app. That creates a skewed marketplace. It's dating apps are hot or not. Like, let's be real, like if you're on Tinder, Hinge, or whatever, it's like, is this person good looking? Yes or no, swipe left, swipe right. And I think the third and most interesting issue is the incentive issue for present day dating apps. So if you think about it logically, if any dating app in the present marketplace, so let's say if Tinder were to match a happy couple, what does this mean for Tinder? That happy couple then leaves the app, then Tinder loses a paying customer, and that's not good for Tinder's bottom line. So this creates incentive to create churn marketing, which is essentially keeping someone on a Ferris wheel. So if you hear about someone download the app, delete the app, download the app, delete the app, that's all by incentivized design. Whereas dating is different because our intention is to put users in the best position to succeed. And so we do this like this. So like, let's say you're on dating, you create a profile, you connect to your social media, you chat with Cupid, that's our AI. On the back end, tags are generating for your profile. So Jay, you would get a bunch of tags, and then you get matches based on other people's tags. And the more you accept or reject matches, The more those tags update, the more you tell Cupid what you're looking for, the more those tags update. So the longer you're on the app, the likelihood of finding a match that you actually like increases. And the reason we're able to incentivize that is because after the match is made, it can act as a relationship butler. So let's say, for example, you find, I'm not sure, actually, I think you had kids last time. Yeah, I really, yeah. Okay,
Yes.
I'll use me as an example. So let's say I match with some girl. It's just like, it's just, we connect all our Apple Music. It's like, okay, Eric and Lisa. Lisa seems cool. At Cupid, what should we do? Well, you both like this one specific artist. There's a concert coming up. You should go on the date. We go on
Mm.
the date. We fall in love. We get married. Then Cupid can act as a butler or a relationship assistant from them. It's like, okay, her birthday's coming up. What should I get her? Well, she just
Mm.
added this to her Pinterest board. This could be a good gift. Or it's like, hey, what do we want to do for our anniversary? Great, do this. Or it's like, hey, we're having a relationship issue. Can you help us talk through that? So it can function after the initial match is made.
I mean, I love it. My question is, like the usefulness of that isn't something that somebody who's just trying to date cares about initially, right? So like that would be like basically their perspective has to shift and they have to have a need for a different service that you offer that's kind of an extension of your normal platform, just from a kind of business model perspective. It's
Yeah.
just interesting to think like you want to track people necessarily because down the line they have a relationship butler that may be very, it's a great idea, I love that idea. But how are you, so I guess what I'm getting at is it all just marketed at kind of single people first, and then kind of as they're in the app and doing whatever, you're making them aware that as they progress towards a relationship, that this relationship butler thing is there? Because like I said, I'm assuming as a single person getting on this app, I'm not necessarily going to care about a relationship butler, even care that it exists until I have the problems or get to the point in my relationship that I would find something like that useful. I do love the idea, by the way, of like the, oh hey, you like this artist, I like this artist. Here's a concert coming out. Like that's incredible. I love that. But how are you kind of like upselling this relationship butler thing to existing clients before or after they've already made a relationship?
Yeah, so we're marketing specifically for dating apps first, just because that's the easiest place to market. Like no one's really happy in the dating app marketplace, and then from there, once they're on the app, it's like, oh, we also have this cool feature, and
Hmm.
so we just pushed that feature live like a week and a half ago. Again, our vibe coders did it. So like, let's say you're on the app, you're like, okay, what is this app? Playing around. We need to do a better job to explaining all the features. Oh, what's this plus thing on the top? Oh, I can connect with someone. So I can connect with a couple, I can connect with a friend, I can test it out. So that's a way for us to help grow the platform. So let's say you were to join the app, like, what is this? Oh, let's see what Eric and Jay want to do. Like, let's say
Hmm.
friends supervise, like, oh, what do you guys want to eat? And we tested
Right.
this out with like friends or I tested this out with friends in Marina Del Rey. We're like, oh, Marina Del Rey, what do we want to eat? Give us suggestions. It was pretty good. So right now we're just letting people, because we haven't started a full marketing push. Like again, like app went live like a month ago. So we're still
Hmm.
adding features, testing features, fixing bugs. So we haven't started a full marketing push, but right now we're just letting people find stuff within the app, and because like we want to see where people naturally click and what they naturally do to optimize the app. So that's the stage we're in.
So what was the go to market strategy? How do you build a community app with no community to start?
Yeah, a really smart guy said this is like the chicken and the egg situation, where they're like, it's like, okay, you have an app, but like if you go to an app, especially a dating app, and no one's there, it's like this is kind of stupid, and then you
Yep.
delete the app, and then it's like it's kind of dumb. So our strategy is we're copying the in and out strategy in the sense we're going city by city, focus around SoCal first. Like
Hmm.
again, the app is live in the United States, so anyone can download. So we're doing like 50-50 broad and focused. So with the LA strategy, it's like, okay, if you start with LA because that's where we're from, go down to SD so we get that whole area in there, get people within those communities going. And the way we did this is we targeted specific colleges like
Mm.
UCLA, UC Irvine, USC, SDSU, and did a bunch of speaking events there. So we knew like I personally did a bunch of like entrepreneur speaking events at those colleges, got to know the communities, got people talking, and now we have boots on the ground at those schools representing the app. So that's how we're getting the targeted market, and we're offering like free photography for like, hey, you guys want a free photo
Mm.
for your new app? Here it is. Something I really want to try is going to like a college or going to a place and like, hey, here's a free taco. Sign up for the app. I think that'll work well. And like a couple of our team members, they also go to raves and stuff. So we're spreading the word organically there. So that's the micro approach. And we're eventually going to go up to SoCal. Because again, if you match someone in New York, that's great and all. but it's also not the most useful thing. So we're focused on SoCal first.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the niche approach. But of course, like we're also doing we're testing out ads too, but I think ads are kind of boring, so we'll skip over those. So the biggest thing I did to actually raise awareness and go on the way to grow the wait list. Oh, we did a wait list too. So when our app was in beta, it's like join the wait list, and then we would selectively bring people on based how much data they had. So that, like if you connected a bunch of data, you're probably into the app as you're from this location. So we kind of matched make that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. The most successful thing I did to grow the wait list was actually going to a bunch of podcasts and doing that whole tour.
No, I love that, and I love being on the ground in the colleges. How are you guys monetizing this? Do people pay to be on it, or what's the monetization aspect for you guys?
Monetization right now it's free and it's going to be free for a while because we're just trying to get users first. But the long-term monetization aspect is I'm not a big fan of it, but I think we can hyper target with ads and we can put companies in the right place. We're like, hey, these people really love your product if they think it's good fit. So there's a good way to sell the platform that way. But long term, it's going to be booking a date through the matchmaking service. So let's say like booking a date, booking an Uber, doing that whole thing, and where we get a cut. So like if I were to
Mm,
match with a couple, it's like, okay, here's the first date suggestion. Would you like to book? If I like the place, I like the suggestion, I like the girl, I book, I pay, then dating will get a cut, and that dating will get a cut, and this keeps our incentives aligned. I mean, like the more matches we get, the more money we make.
right. I like that.
No, and I don't want to do a paywall just because you're off the app because you have like 20 kids. But dude, the paywalls on Tinder and like Hinge, they're just so shisty. Like what they do is, I could go on a whole tirade about them, but like they'll show you the attractive bots, hit these matches. But do you want to see more? Go on the paywall. Did you pay the thing and you just get nothing? And then if you're not paying, you're not getting a show, and it's just not a great. It's not fun for anyone, to be honest.
I met my wife through Plenty of Fish like 13 years ago, I think. I was in on the dating apps when it was before the gold rush kind of
Oh
hit,
yeah,
back in the OK Cupid days when that was kind of taking off. Um, but yeah, I mean, I would have no idea. At least I wouldn't even know what a dating that. I mean, other than like knowing that you have to swipe left and right, which I don't even think was a thing back when I was doing it. But so, How are you measuring? Or let me put it this way: what are your goals for user count? Is that are you driving things based on like wanting to have a certain amount of users over a certain time period, or like what does growth kind of look like for you guys?
So the cool thing about our app is, we launched we raised pre-seed, so we got an initial check from an initial investor. So we're trying to reach around 10,000. So we put off fundraising because obviously fundraising without the app live, without users, is just not the position you want to be in. So we're
Hmm.
putting off our fundraising round. So our first initial step is around 10K users within the Los Angeles area. So that's our first, I would say, our initial goal that we wanted to, with a specific amount of returning users. Because again, like if you sign a user, they just delete the app. I guess that's cool, but you want them coming back over and over again. And on top of that, we are measuring how long you're on the app. So I think those are our three metrics. And once we hit 10K, get some money, get some scaling money, great. And the cool thing about the phase we're in is like we're still in the learning phase. We're just trying a bunch of stuff. Some things work, some things don't. Just find out what works, put more money into that, and lean out the stuff that doesn't work.
I love this. I love it a lot. My is kind of just from a layman's perspective, what is the AI powered thing doing as opposed to traditional programming where maybe you're creating tags and matching people off tags, etc.? Like, what is the AI component really bringing to this that's different than kind of just traditional smart software?
It's generating the tags, creating matches based on the tags, planning the dates, and then answering any question like ChatGPT could.
Okay. And the tagging and all that stuff, I guess my point more is like, couldn't that be done before AI or without AI? Is like, what is the like, why is AI important other than the chat component, which makes obviously a lot of sense just because of the interface you have together? But what compared to, if this was built 10 years ago, a lot of the same core concepts would be there. But what is AI like really bringing to the table as opposed to if you were like, you sat down and said, we're going to build this app without AI at all? You could probably build a similar app, but what does the AI kind of bring that extra piece for you guys?
I would say the accuracy of the tags and the efficiency of bringing the tags. So, for example, if you like go on Facebook or you go on any other dating app and you fill out your interests, what you're about, what you're doing, the answering those questions like just like directly, that's what's
Hmm.
generating the tags. But we auto generate the tags based off your digital footprint. So the thing that makes us separate is like, we're generating tags based on the chat, based on your interests, which I think is important. But if you link more social media accounts like your Gmail, that's going to give it different data. Pinterest is going to give it different data. Apple Music is going to give it different data. So you hit a bunch of different data sources to generate those tags, which create a much more personalized experience for the user. So Cupid knows you better than most AI would. So for example, ChatGPT, like, you know, it kind of knows you the more you use it. Like, okay, it kind of knows
Mhm.
what I want, but that's only from one avenue. Like, you're just telling it to do stuff. So it knows what it's going to tell you to do, but it doesn't know too much about your social life. It doesn't know what you like to do. It doesn't know you have a dog. It doesn't know all of these. And the more tags it generates, the better it gets at connecting these tags on the back. Because AI at its core is just really good at pattern recognition. So it'll build connections between different tags that no one would think about. Like, for example, I'm wearing a black shirt, that could be a tag that could randomly relate to me being a runner, and you're wearing a blue shirt, that could randomly relate to you being a biker. And we would miss that as humans, but if enough of that pattern shows up within AI, it can pick that up and then start matching
Mm.
people based off of that. And then that's just like one level down. It can keep going down. It's like, okay, black shirt, runner, he's into this type of person, test it out, scale. Okay, the majority of people do this. Great, that's another correlation. So it can get deeper. And we're just
That makes a
scratching the
lot of
surface.
sense.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be
I
gnarly. And
I like that.
the guy who's creating our tagging systems like a literal just genius mastermind, helped create like IBMs, like authored a bunch of stuff. His name's Dave. He's
That's awesome. I love it.
champion juggler type of thing. But yeah.
Champion juggler. Speaking of what a segue. I mean, it was almost like you were thinking you were matching my mind here. How do you juggle all these things as, a serial entrepreneur? You're on social, you're doing whatever, you're visiting schools. You're like, how do you organize your day as an entrepreneur? Like, how the hell do you like? What do you do? What do you know you're doing? Do you have? Are you dialed into your calendar? Or do you use AI tools? Like, which I even hate that I even asked that. But just in general, like, do you organize your day in a strategic way, or you more just kind of let it flow and what happens?
So I have a start point and an end point that are usually the same. My start point is I wake up at, I think we probably went over this last time, but I wake up around 4:20 because I find that funny. Do my meditation, set my intention for the day, and I go to the gym, do that whole thing. So that's my start point. I start my day well. If I think my day's going to go well, then I match the vibe of a day that goes well and it goes well. And then during the day, again, live by the calendar, but it's not always booked. So during the day, I do whatever excites me most because that's likely what's going to add the most value to my different companies. So whatever excites me most is what I do, and then I close the day at Muay Thai because I think that's a nice reset. That brings me back to the present moment. Because if I'm at Muay Thai and I'm like complaining about bitching about work, or even thinking about work, man, you just get like you get hit and it's like this is kind of dumb. And then you focus. You're like, okay,
Yeah, I need to focus on not getting hit in the face. I like that. Well, very cool, man. What are the next, big things coming out for dating? What are there big? Are there any features coming out? Are there any big, like on campus things you guys are doing? What are the big events coming up for you guys?
yeah. So we have a couple of events at UCLA and USC, and I think it's funny to pit them against each other because like the way you can get an event at USC is like, hey, I just spoke at this UCLA event. Do you happen to do this, and then vice versa. So we're gonna continuously do that. A big feature we're looking forward to is launching group dates type of thing. So, and that's going to drive engagement and get people back. It's like, hey, these 5 people in LA, this place really vibes with you. You guys should check it out, and we're going to test that out. So, most excited about group dates. We're going to start launching influencer campaigns, and we want to do this. I want to do this more strategically in the sense, obviously, not just paying like a big influencer a lot of money because that just doesn't work. But
Right.
what we're doing in the background is I've set up a bunch of accounts, like on personal accounts for this specific algorithm. So it's going to start feeding me the up and coming content creators, like the ones with like 5 to 10K followers who started. So I want to get them on board before the algorithm picks that up,
Mm,
and then create a bunch of UGC from the app. Because, like you said, the app has a bunch of stuff. It's like, how would I know there's a group feature? How would I know there's a connecting with relationship features? Like, I would rather have people just creating content about that, posting that organically, and just letting that flow. So I'm excited about that, and I think the app has enough viral. And again, kicking off the podcast store, which is why I reached out. I do enjoy podcasts, so that's fun. But I think the app has enough virality where it can just get picked up, and once it reaches a certain point, it's just going to take care of itself.
love that. All right, dude. Well, this was great. I think we got some good notes here. It's always a pleasure. You're like
Yeah,
the most chill guy I think I've ever interviewed or even maybe met in my life. So, happy to call you a friend. Proud of the new app coming out or that's already out. Let's stay in touch, man. Keep kicking ass, keep doing great stuff. And, how do people find the app if they want to go download it right now?
if they wanted to, just go to the Apple App Store and search dating. which low key is really annoying because it auto corrects to just other dating apps. But yeah, just search dating or go to our website dating.io and it links to the app.
Beautiful. And can people reach out to you via LinkedIn if they want to know more about anything they heard about you specifically today?
Yeah, no, I love meeting people, so just shoot me a DM on LinkedIn.
Of course you do. You're just easy breezy like Sunday morning, brother. All right, Eric, you're the best. Thank
No,
you for
thank
reaching
you.
out. And it's always good to talk to you, brother. Talk soon, okay?
You too, man.
Thanks, man.